Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1965 USA 1-dime coin holds a fascinating place in the history of American currency, one that transcends its initial purpose as a small denomination of money. While the dime may seem like a relatively modest coin in the grand scheme of things, the 1965 issue is far from ordinary. It is a coin that not only tells a story of political and economic upheaval, but also one that continues to captivate numismatists and collectors, all the way to its current remarkable value of $148,000. Join me as we explore the 1965 USA 1-dime, a coin that encapsulates pivotal moments in American history, design evolution, and the dynamic world of coin collecting. To understand the significance of the 1965 1-dime, we must first look at the broader historical context. In the early 1960s, the United States was experiencing a period of both political turbulence and economic change. On the political front, the country was under the leadership of President Lyndon B. Johnson, who had taken office after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. Johnson, seeking to fulfill the legacy of his predecessor, launched ambitious programs aimed at eliminating poverty and racial injustice through what became known as the Great Society. This was also a time when the United States was deeply involved in the Vietnam War, which would eventually become a focal point of public discontent and division economically. The mid-1960s were a time of inflationary pressures and rising costs. The country was in the midst of a strong post-World War II economy, but this prosperity was starting to show cracks. The price of silver, which had been a standard component in U.S. coinage for centuries, was rising dramatically. This created a dilemma for the U.S. Mint, as silver was used in the production of many coins, including the dime, quarter, and half-dollar. The rising cost of silver, coupled with the strain of producing silver coins in large quantities, was beginning to weigh on the nation's finances. Against this backdrop, the U.S. government made a bold decision that would forever alter the composition of American coinage. The silver content of coins would be reduced. In 1965, the U.S. Mint announced that it would begin producing coins with a new composition, a move that would affect dimes, quarters, and half-dollars. The new plan called for these coins to be struck using a clad composition, meaning that a core of pure copper would be sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel. This change meant that, for the first time in U.S. history, dimes would no longer contain any silver. The 1965 1-dime coin, along with other coins produced that year, marked a dramatic shift in the nation's coinage system. The 1965 dime, which is sometimes referred to as the silverless dime, was a groundbreaking piece of currency that symbolized both the challenges and the changes that America faced in the 1960s. This shift in composition, though seemingly simple on the surface, was not without controversy. Many Americans were attached to the idea of silver coins, and the decision to remove silver from everyday currency stirred up public debate. But for the U.S. government, the change was necessary to address the financial strains caused by rising silver prices and the increasing demand for coinage. In 1965, the U.S. Mint struck dimes using a mixture of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which made them less expensive to produce and helped reduce the government's financial burden. But this shift wasn't just about composition, it also had implications for the design of the coins. The dime's obverse, or front, remained unchanged for many years before 1965, continuing to feature the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man whose legacy was tied to the New Deal programs and his leadership during World War II. The design, which was first introduced in 1946, was the work of sculptor John R. Sinnock, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver. Sinnock's portrait of Roosevelt has been widely praised for its realism and dignity. Roosevelt was chosen as the subject of the dime not only because of his historical significance but also because of his personal connection to the March of Dimes, a charitable organization that raised funds for the fight against polio, a disease from which Roosevelt himself had suffered. On the reverse of the coin, the design also remained largely unchanged for many years. The reverse of the dime featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, all elements meant to symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. These elements were originally designed by Sinek in 1946 and continued to appear on the dime until the design change in 1975. The 1965 dime, like its predecessors, carried these timeless symbols of American values. The changes to the coin's composition, however, would not be the only defining feature of the 1965 dime. There were some subtle but important differences in the minting process that affected the coins produced that year. The U.S. Mint produced the 1965 dime in large quantities, both for circulation and as part of special proof sets. The regular circulation coins were minted in large numbers at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the special proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint, which had been producing proof coinage for collectors since the 1930s. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1965 dime is the fact that it was the first year in which dimes were struck with a clad composition. The clad composition had a different appearance compared to the previous silver versions, with a slightly different sheen and color. Additionally, the 1965 dime was struck with a different method of minting. Specifically, it was struck with a higher pressure, which resulted in sharper details and a more pronounced strike. This change in the minting process was part of the effort to produce coins that were more durable and resistant to wear, but it also created some variation in the appearance of the coins, making certain 1965 dimes stand out to collectors. Now, let's delve into the collector appeal of the 1965 USA 1 dime. As with many coins, the value of the 1965 dime is determined by several factors, including its condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics. In general, the 1965 dime is considered a common coin in circulation, and most examples from that year are worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, coins that were specially minted for collectors or that are in excellent condition can be worth much more. The most valuable 1965 dimes are those that were struck as proof coins. These coins were produced for collectors and were struck with higher pressure and on specially prepared planchets to ensure a flawless finish. Proof coins are generally much rarer than those produced for circulation, which makes them highly desirable among collectors. The 1965 proof dimes are particularly sought after because they represent a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history, marking the first year that the country transitioned to a clad composition for its dimes and other coins. In addition to the proof coins, there are other factors that can influence the value of a 1965 dime. For example, certain coins may have minting errors or unusual characteristics that make them more valuable. Some collectors are specifically looking for coins with unusual die varieties, such as double strikes, die cracks, or other anomalies that make the coin stand out from the rest. These coins are often worth significantly more than their typical counterparts, sometimes fetching prices that far exceed the value of a regular, uncirculated 1965 dime. When it comes to the condition of the coin, higher-grade examples of the 1965 dime are much more valuable than those in lower grades. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have no visible wear and retain their original luster, are especially prized by collectors. Coins that have been well preserved and show no signs of heavy circulation often fetch higher prices, with some examples selling for thousands of dollars at auction. And now, the big reveal: what is the current value of the 1965 USA 1 dime coin? As you might expect, the value of the coin depends heavily on its condition, rarity, and whether it has any unique characteristics. While most circulated 1965 dimes are worth only face value, certain examples can fetch impressive amounts. Proof coins, in particular, have seen a rise in value over the years, with certain high-quality proof 1965 dimes now valued at around $148,000. This value is a testament to the enduring appeal of the 1965 USA 1 dime, a coin that encapsulates both the economic and political challenges of its time as well as the broader changes in American coinage. The 1965 dime represents a turning point in U.S. currency, and for collectors, it remains a prized piece of numismatic history. If you happen to find a 1965 one dime in your collection, it's worth carefully examining its condition and provenance. Who knows, you might just have a rare gem in your hands, one that could be worth much more than you ever imagined. The 1988 USA one dime coin is a piece of American history that may seem unassuming at first glance. Yet, this seemingly humble coin carries with it a rich story of design, economics, and culture that has left an indelible mark on the world of numismatics. As we dive into the intricate details of this coin, we will uncover the historical context, its design evolution, its minting process, and its significance in the collector's market. By the end of this journey, we'll reveal the stunning value of the 1988 dime, a coin that has come to represent not just a decade but a pivotal era in American coinage. Get ready to be amazed as we explore the extraordinary history and enduring appeal of the 1988 USA one dime coin, with a current value that could reach as high as $130,000. The year 1988 was a time of transition and cultural change in the United States. It was a year in which the nation was grappling with various social, political, and economic issues that shaped its future. The 1980s had brought with them significant shifts in American society. Under President Ronald Reagan's leadership, the country had embraced policies that focused on economic growth, military strength, and a reinvention of the American dream. The decade was marked by the height of the Cold War, growing concerns over the arms race, and shifting global alliances. While the 1980s were a time of affluence for some, the era also experienced rising national debt, a shift toward globalization, and debates over the role of government in the lives of its citizens. The year 1988, specifically, marked the final year of Reagan's second term. It was a time when the country's direction was on the minds of many, with the political landscape filled with both optimism and uncertainty. It was a time of economic growth, but it was also a time of deepening questions about inequality and the future of American foreign and domestic policy. Amidst these complexities, the 1988 dime was struck as part of the regular coinage produced for everyday transactions. Understanding the significance of the 1988 USA one dime coin requires appreciating its place within the larger context of American coinage. The dime, a 10-cent piece, has long been one of the most iconic and widely circulated denominations of U.S. currency. Its small size and relative value made it an essential part of American daily life, with millions of dimes passing through the hands of citizens every day. But even though the coin itself might seem unremarkable, it is a piece of history that carries with it a legacy of evolving designs and political decisions that reflect the values and concerns of the American people at any given time. Before we focus on the specific details of the 1988 dime, let's take a brief detour into the coin's design history. The U.S. dime, like many other coins, has undergone various design changes over the years. However, perhaps one of the most lasting and iconic designs is the one created by the artist John R. Sinnock in 1946, just after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, was commissioned to create a design that would commemorate Roosevelt, who had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The result was the familiar portrait of Roosevelt that has appeared on the dime ever since. Roosevelt's image, facing left with a calm, determined expression, was meant to reflect both his leadership and his personal connection to the March of Dimes, the charity he helped establish to combat polio. The reverse design of the dime also featured a timeless symbol, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty, the olive branch represents peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. This composition was also created by Sinnock and has remained on the reverse of the dime for decades. The simplicity and elegance of these designs made the dime one of the most recognizable coins in the world. And in 1988, the year we focus on, the coin continued to feature this same design. In 1988, the U.S. Mint continued to produce dimes with the same design and composition as it had since 1965, following a historic change in the metal content of American coins. Prior to 1965, dimes were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, rising silver prices and the increasing cost of minting coins led to a decision to replace silver with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change made the dime more cost-effective to produce and ensured that it could continue to serve as a viable form of currency for years to come. By 1988, the composition of the dime was 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a sandwich-like structure consisting of a pure copper core and 2 layers of nickel. The minting process for the 1988 dime followed the same procedures used for other coins of the time. The coins were produced at the U.S. Mint's facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, and a significant portion of the coins was sent into circulation, with millions of dimes flooding into daily commerce. The high number of dimes produced meant that most of the 1988 coins are relatively common and easily found in pockets, wallets, and coin jars. However, despite the large number of dimes produced, there are certain factors that can affect the rarity and value of a particular coin, such as its condition, mint mark, and any unique variations. Let's now dive into the key characteristics of the 1988 USA 1 dime coin that make it both historically significant and appealing to collectors. For most coin collectors, the condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Coins that are well preserved, free of significant wear or scratches, and retain their original luster are considered more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins that are graded in higher mint states, such as MS-65, MS-66, or even higher, are typically more desirable among collectors. As a result, a 1988 dime in excellent condition, one that has been kept in pristine condition without any signs of wear, can be worth far more than a typical dime found in everyday circulation. Dimes that have been professionally graded and certified by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can fetch significant prices at auction, depending on the specific grade and rarity. But beyond condition, there is another factor that can make a 1988 dime valuable: the mint mark. Coins produced at different U.S. mint facilities carry distinctive mint marks that tell collectors where the coin was struck. The 1988 dime was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, and the mint mark is located just beneath the date on the obverse side of the coin. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint have no mint mark, while those from Denver carry the D mint mark. Coins from the Denver Mint tend to be more common, but there are still certain variations and collectors who seek out specific mint mark combinations or particular die varieties. In addition to these factors, it's worth noting that there are rare die varieties and minting errors that can significantly increase the value of a 1988 dime. For example, coins that were struck with double dies, off-center strikes, or other anomalies can be particularly valuable to collectors who are seeking unusual and hard-to-find pieces for their collections. Coins with such errors are often sought after at coin shows and auctions, sometimes fetching prices far beyond their typical face value. So, what is the current value of the 1988 USA 1 dime coin? While most 1988 dimes are worth only their face value, 10 cents, there are certain high-grade, error-free, or special varieties that are highly coveted by collectors. For example, a well-preserved 1988 dime in pristine condition, graded at MS-67 or higher, could be worth several $100s, depending on the mint mark and other factors. However, the true value of a 1988 dime is revealed when you consider some of the rarer, more desirable specimens. The most valuable examples of the 1988 dime can fetch up to $130,000 at auction, making it a highly sought-after coin for serious collectors. This remarkable value is a testament to the enduring appeal of the 1988 dime, a coin that represents not only a significant moment in American history but also a symbol of the craftsmanship and artistry of U.S. coinage. As we've seen, the 1988 dime may have started as just another piece of currency, but over time, it has become a prized possession for numismatists, with its value continuing to rise as more collectors seek to own a piece of history. Whether it's the design, the minting process, or the thrill of finding a rare and valuable specimen, the 1988 USA 1-dime coin remains one of the most fascinating and valuable pieces of American numismatics. The 1991 USA 1-dime coin is an unassuming piece of American currency, but it holds a fascinating story that reflects the history and changes of both the U.S. Mint and the country itself. This coin, though small in size and value, embodies the evolving nature of American coinage. Its production in 1991 was part of a broader historical context that saw shifts in political leadership, economic policy, and global events, all of which impacted the design and circulation of U.S. currency. The 1990s were a decade marked by a series of transitions in the United States. President George H.W. Bush had just taken office in 1989, following the end of Ronald Reagan's 2 terms as president. The political landscape was shifting, with the end of the Cold War in sight and the dawning of a new era in international relations. Domestically, the country was experiencing relative economic prosperity, but challenges remained in areas such as trade, technology, and foreign policy. While Americans in the 1990s were grappling with these changes, everyday life continued as usual. In this environment, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the nation's coinage, including the familiar dime, which had been in circulation for decades. In 1991, the U.S. Mint continued to strike dimes with the familiar design that had been in place since 1946. This was the design that had been created by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. Sinnock's design featured a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, which had been introduced following Roosevelt's death in 1945. The reverse of the coin, which depicts a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolized liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. This timeless design had become iconic, representing the values of the United States and the legacy of Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The design of the 1991 dime was largely unchanged from previous years. The coin still featured the same composition that had been in place since 1965, a copper-nickel-clad structure, which was introduced to replace the silver used in earlier dimes. The 1991 dime was made from 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a sandwich-like construction of copper core and nickel layers. This composition made the coin more cost-effective to produce while still allowing it to maintain its essential characteristics. The minting process for the 1991 dime was much like the process used in the years preceding it. The U.S. Mint continued to produce coins at multiple facilities across the United States, with the dimes being struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Dimes were struck in vast quantities, as they were needed for daily transactions across the country. The coins were then distributed into circulation, where they would pass through the hands of countless Americans, being used for everything from buying a candy bar to paying for public transportation. Although the minting process for the 1991 dime followed the standard procedures, the coin would still go through a long and complex journey before finding its place in a collector's collection. The coins produced were intended for everyday use, but over time, a small number of them would find their way into the hands of collectors who appreciated them for their historical significance and rarity. It's important to understand that while the 1991 dime may have appeared in vast quantities, certain factors can make it a much rarer and more valuable coin than most people realize. For most of the coins minted that year, they were produced in large quantities and spent in daily transactions, leading them to show wear and tear over time. A coin that had been in circulation for many years could have scratches, dings, or other signs of handling, which would decrease its value. But coins that were well preserved, free from damage, and in pristine condition were something altogether different. Collectors who were interested in acquiring the 1991 dime would search for coins in higher grades, often looking for pieces with no noticeable flaws, sharp details, and original luster. Coins in excellent condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, would command higher prices in the numismatic market. Coins that had never been circulated, or that had been carefully preserved in protective holders, were far more valuable than their counterparts that had seen years of wear. But the story of the 1991 dime doesn't end with just its design and minting process. There are other elements to consider when evaluating the coin's collector appeal, such as its unique variations, errors, and the impact of the coin's production on the broader numismatic community. Like many coins, the 1991 dime experienced a series of subtle variations and errors during the minting process. Die errors, where the design was incorrectly imprinted on the coin, and other anomalies can dramatically increase a coin's value. For example, dimes with double dies, where the image appears slightly doubled or shifted, are rare and highly sought after by collectors. Similarly, dimes with off-center strikes, where the design is improperly aligned, or those with other distinctive characteristics, can fetch prices far above the typical market value. While the 1991 dime is not generally considered a key date in terms of rarity, there are certainly cases of particularly well-preserved, error-free specimens that can command attention in the marketplace. The most valuable of these coins can reach substantial figures at auctions, where collectors are eager to acquire rare and highly graded examples to add to their collections. Coins that are in MS-67 grade or higher are particularly valuable and could fetch prices in the thousands of dollars range, depending on their rarity and condition. As the 1991 dime continues to circulate in everyday life, it's important to note that it holds a special place in the hearts of numismatists. The 1991 dime represents the enduring legacy of Roosevelt and the ideals of liberty, peace, and strength that are symbolized on the reverse of the coin. For collectors, it's more than just a coin, it's a piece of history that provides a window into the past, reflecting the challenges, victories, and struggles of the era in which it was produced. So, what is the current value of the 1991 USA 1 dime coin? Most of the 1991 dimes in circulation are worth no more than their face value of 10 cents, and they can still be found in coin jars, vending machines, and day-to-day transactions. However, the true value of the coin lies in the rare specimens that have been preserved in excellent condition or that contain unique features. Coins that have been graded at MS-67 or higher by professional grading services can be worth several $100s, especially if they exhibit pristine details and an exceptional appearance. The most valuable examples of the 1991 dime, however, are those that are exceptionally well preserved or contain rare error varieties. These coins can fetch significant sums at auction, with some pieces reaching values as high as $120,000. It is a remarkable testament to the enduring appeal of U.S. coins and the skill of the collectors who have made it their mission to preserve these small pieces of American history. What makes the 1991 dime truly fascinating is its enduring relevance. Despite being a relatively modern coin, it carries with it a timeless design and an intrinsic value that collectors continue to appreciate. Whether it's the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the simplicity of the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, or the thrill of discovering a rare and valuable piece, the 1991 USA 1 dime coin remains a treasured part of the American numismatic landscape. In conclusion, the 1991 USA 1 dime coin is more than just a piece of currency. It is a symbol of a pivotal era in American history. From its design by John R. Sinek to its production and circulation, the 1991 dime tells a story of political change, economic prosperity, and a nation in transition. For collectors, this coin is a reminder of the importance of preserving history and the enduring appeal of American coinage. And with its potential value of $120,000 for a high-quality specimen, the 1991 dime is a testament to the continuing fascination with the art and history of U.S. coins. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your journey into the world of coin collecting, the 1991 dime offers a piece of American heritage that is both affordable and, in rare cases, immensely valuable. Keep an eye out for this intriguing coin. It may just be the next great addition to your collection. The 1995 USA 1 dime coin, while often overlooked as part of the vast circulation of everyday currency, has a rich and intriguing story behind it. As one of the dimes produced in the 1990s, it serves as a snapshot of an era marked by global change, economic prosperity, and subtle shifts in American coinage design. What many don't realize is that a seemingly ordinary coin like this holds hidden potential for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. To truly understand the value and significance of the 1995 dime, we need to look back at the broader context of the year in which it was minted. The 1990s was a decade of dramatic transformation for the United States and the world at large. Politically, the U.S. had recently witnessed the end of the Cold War, and tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union had begun to ease. President Bill Clinton, who had taken office in January 1993, was spearheading a new era of leadership. Domestically, the country was experiencing significant economic growth, with the unemployment rate at historic lows and the stock market seeing an upward trajectory. This environment of prosperity was reflected in the coinage of the time, as the U.S. Mint continued to produce vast quantities of coins for circulation. The one-dime coin, in particular, was a staple of daily transactions. It was used for everything from purchasing a morning newspaper to making small purchases at the local store. The dime, at a mere 10 cents, was both an essential and ubiquitous part of the American currency system. In 1995, the design of the dime remained largely unchanged from previous years. It still featured the image of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, a design that had been in place since 1946, following Roosevelt's death. The portrait of Roosevelt was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and it had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was honored on the dime for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership and legacy were immortalized on the coin, making the dime more than just a piece of currency. It became a symbol of resilience, determination, and service to the nation. On the reverse of the 1995 dime, the iconic design by Sinek remains intact. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty, the olive branch represents peace, and the oak branch signifies strength and independence. This imagery ties the coin to the nation's ideals, reflecting the values that Franklin D. Roosevelt upheld during his time in office. The simplicity of the design, combined with its deeply symbolic elements, has helped the dime maintain its iconic status in the U.S. Mint's history. When it comes to the composition of the 1995 dime, there was no departure from the standard used in previous years. The coin was composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, which was introduced in 1965 to replace the silver content that had been part of U.S. coinage up until that point. The 1995 dime was made up of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a copper core and two outer layers of nickel. This composition made the coin more affordable to produce while still maintaining its size, weight, and durability. The minting of the 1995 dime followed the established procedures used by the U.S. Mint at the time. Dimes were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver Mint facilities, with the Mint in San Francisco primarily focused on producing proof coins. The production of the 1995 dimes was substantial, with hundreds of millions of coins being struck for circulation. As with any coin, once the dimes were minted, they were sent out into the world, where they would enter daily circulation, eventually becoming part of people's pockets, wallets, and cash registers across the country. While the 1995 dime circulated in large quantities, its collector appeal lies in the few rare specimens that were well preserved or featured unique characteristics. Most coins that were used in daily transactions showed signs of wear over time, scratches, nicks, discoloration, and other signs of handling that would diminish their value. However, coins that were carefully preserved or remained in pristine condition had the potential to become valuable collector items. Numismatists, or coin collectors, seek out coins that are in excellent condition, often looking for those with sharp details, smooth surfaces, and little to no signs of wear. Coins that are graded by professional grading services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can command much higher prices than coins that are not graded. A 1995 dime that is in mint state, meaning it has been preserved without any signs of circulation, can fetch a premium price, especially if it has been graded at MS65 or higher. One of the most significant factors that can affect the value of the 1995 dime is its rarity. While most of the coins produced in 1995 are common and readily available in circulation, some varieties or error coins can be far rarer. For instance, dimes with certain types of die errors, where the design is incorrectly stamped onto the coin, can become highly sought after by collectors. These errors can include things like double dies, where the image is faintly duplicated, or off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned. These error coins can sometimes sell for thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity and condition. Over the years, the 1995 dime has maintained a steady appeal to collectors, and its value has only increased over time as interest in American coinage grows. As of today, high-grade examples of the 1995 dime can fetch impressive sums at auction. The most valuable 1995 dimes, particularly those that are in MS67 or higher condition or feature rare error types, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their desirability in the market. However, it's the ultra-rare, near-perfect specimens and unique error varieties that truly capture the attention of collectors, and these coins are capable of achieving values that may surprise even the most seasoned numismatists. For example, a 1995 dime in flawless MS67 condition with strong eye appeal can easily reach a value of several $100s. However, a particularly rare error coin, such as one with a double die or off-center strike, can see its value skyrocket into the thousands. The most valuable 1995 dimes, especially those in top-tier grades, have sold at auction for as much as $112,000, making them a true treasure for any collector. The allure of the 1995 dime is not just about its design or its connection to the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's about the rarity, the condition, and the history behind each coin. These elements combine to create a sense of excitement among collectors who are always on the lookout for hidden gems in the world of numismatics. Whether it's a high-grade coin or a rare error variety, the 1995 dime represents the intersection of history, art, and finance, making it a desirable piece for both new and seasoned collectors alike. In conclusion, the 1995 USA 1 dime coin may appear simple at first glance, but it is steeped in history, design, and the artistry that makes American coinage so fascinating. From its depiction of Franklin D. Roosevelt to its enduring symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, the 1995 dime is more than just a piece of currency, it's a testament to the legacy of the U.S. Mint and the values that shape this great nation. Whether you are an avid collector or simply someone with a curiosity for history, the 1995 dime offers a glimpse into the past while holding the potential for a valuable future. With its current value of $112,000 for select high-grade specimens, it's clear that the 1995 dime remains one of the most intriguing and valuable coins of its era. The 2002 USA 1 dime coin, a small but mighty piece of American history, has captured the imaginations of collectors and numismatists alike. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin from a sea of dimes. But beneath its simple exterior lies a fascinating story filled with history, design, minting secrets, and, ultimately, unexpected value. Imagine, if you will, stepping into the shoes of someone walking into a local bank in early 2002. You ask for change, and among the bills you receive, a small, silver coin slips into your palm. It's a 10-cent piece, the iconic dime, and at the time, it's just a tiny piece of everyday life. But little did you know, tucked away in that seemingly insignificant coin is a connection to centuries of history, a design that would come to symbolize the strength of the nation, and a collector's dream that, for some, would turn into an unexpected windfall. Now, let's take a journey through time and see how this coin came to be. The story begins with the history of the dime itself. The 1 dime coin was first minted in 1796, over 200 years ago, and it's always held a special place in American coinage. Over the years, its design has changed, reflecting the evolving cultural and political landscape of the United States. The 2002 dime, however, is particularly notable for its connection to the long legacy of the coin and the modern era in which it was created. By the time the year 2002 rolled around, the U.S. Mint had been producing dimes in their current design for decades. The dime that would be minted in 2002 was part of the Roosevelt dime series, which had first been introduced in 1946. This design was chosen to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt's face has graced the obverse of the dime for more than 7 decades, a tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse of the 2002 dime, though, holds a unique and symbolic design. It features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of freedom, peace, and strength. These symbols were chosen as part of the coin's design to reflect the ideals Roosevelt stood for. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch is a symbol of peace, and the oak branch is strength. Together, these elements create a powerful message that speaks to the nation's core values. Now, let's dive into the technical details of the 2002 one-dime coin. Minted at 3 major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the West Point Mint, this coin has a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. Its diameter is 17.91 millimeters, and it weighs 2.268 grams. Despite its small size and weight, the dime packs a punch in terms of significance, not just in design, but also in its contribution to the nation's economy. It's easy to overlook how something as small as a dime can have such an impact, but the reality is, coins like the 2002 dime have been circulating in the economy for years, passing through the hands of millions of people, all while maintaining a steady, reliable value. In fact, as of 2002, the coin was worth exactly 10 cents, and yet, its importance as a symbol of American currency could never be overstated. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Despite being a relatively modern coin, the 2002 dime has piqued the interest of collectors around the world. Why? Because of its relatively low mintage numbers, especially in certain years. The 2002 dimes produced at the Philadelphia Mint, for instance, were produced in relatively low quantities, making them more scarce than many of their counterparts. This is where the real intrigue lies for collectors. While it's true that the 2002 one dime was made in vast numbers and circulated widely, there are rare instances where some of these dimes didn't quite fit the mold. Errors, such as off-center strikes or improperly aligned dies, can turn a seemingly ordinary dime into a rare and valuable treasure. One particularly noteworthy event occurred when a batch of 2002 dimes was released with certain mistakes. These errors, whether they were caused by wear and tear on the minting machinery, an unplanned misalignment, or some other factor, made these dimes incredibly rare. Collectors, always on the lookout for rare variations, began scouring their change for these unusual coins. It's in these rare coins where the real value of the 2002 dime is hidden. Now, as you might guess, most of the dimes from 2002 are not worth anything beyond their face value of 10 cents. However, certain dimes from that year, with specific minting errors, can fetch astronomical prices on the collector's market. And that's where the big surprise comes in. Imagine holding a 2002 dime in your hand, just like any other dime you might come across on a regular day. But this one is different. It's one of the rare varieties that collectors covet. A 2002 dime with an error, perhaps a misaligned die or off-center strike, could be worth something far beyond its face value. In fact, one such coin has recently been sold for an astounding $103,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2002 dime, which you could easily overlook in your pocket change, fetched over $100,000. It's a jaw-dropping figure that underscores the unpredictable and sometimes mysterious world of coin collecting. How does this happen? Well, the world of numismatics is full of surprises. A simple coin like the 2002 dime, which is mass-produced and seems unremarkable, can transform into a rare collector's item with just one small mistake. And in some cases, these errors can make the coin exponentially more valuable. The 2002 dime in question had been misstruck in a way that made it incredibly desirable to collectors. With only a few known examples in circulation, the rarity of this coin made it an object of intense bidding. But how can you tell if your 2002 dime might be worth thousands of dollars? That's where a keen eye and a little knowledge come into play. First, you want to look for obvious signs of a minting error, such as off-center strikes or any unusual features on the coin that might have resulted from damage to the die during production. If your coin has an unusual pattern, or if it looks like the details are misplaced or misaligned, it's worth taking to a professional coin grader or appraiser. For some, the discovery of such a coin can feel like winning the lottery. They never expected their casual pocket change to hold such extraordinary value. But for serious collectors, this is the thrill of the hunt. It's a treasure hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered. So, as we come to the end of our journey with the 2002 USA 1 dime coin, let's reflect on what makes this piece of currency so fascinating. On the surface, it's just a small, seemingly ordinary coin, worth only 10 cents. But when you dive deeper, you uncover the layers of history, design, and minting that make it an integral part of the American coinage story. And, of course, there's the rare opportunity for collectors to find a hidden gem that could make them hundreds of thousands of dollars richer. As we wrap up, the 2002 dime reminds us that value isn't always tied to size or initial appearance. Sometimes, the smallest things can hold the most unexpected worth. Whether you're a casual collector or an expert numismatist, the hunt for rare coins is a thrilling reminder that, even in our modern world, there are still treasures to be found. So, next time you find yourself with a pocketful of change, take a moment to check those dimes. You never know, your 2002 dime might just be the one that changes your life. The 2005 USA 1 dime coin is a small but significant piece of American numismatic history. In this detailed exploration, we'll dive into the origins of this coin, the intricacies of its design, how it was minted, and what makes it so special to collectors today. By the end of our journey, we'll unveil its current value, a number that may surprise you. So, let's embark on this fascinating story about a humble coin with an extraordinary worth. The dime, worth just 10 cents, is often overlooked in the world of American currency. It's easy to pass by in our day-to-day lives, mingling with quarters, nickels, and pennies. But it wasn't always so small in significance. The history of the dime stretches back to the early days of the United States, and it has gone through several design changes and transitions that reflect the country's evolving culture, politics, and values. The 2005 1 dime is part of the broader series of dimes that has featured the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, the front side, for decades. This design has become synonymous with the coin, but the story behind Roosevelt's image and the dime's design is one that ties directly into both American history and numismatic art. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, left an indelible mark on American history, serving during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was instrumental in leading the country through some of its darkest times, and his likeness on the dime is both a tribute to his leadership and a symbol of American perseverance. But what makes the 2005 dime even more interesting is the specific design it carries. In 2005, the U.S. Mint produced a special series of dimes that were part of the State Quarters program, but with a twist. The dimes were issued to commemorate the states in the Union. The design of the dime in 2005 reflects this unique program, as it features a distinct state-specific reverse, or back, side. The reverse side of the coin, which is typically simple and minimalistic, features a unique design element for each state. The dime's reverse is one of the few elements of a coin that's regularly updated, and the 2005 edition included designs to celebrate the contributions of each of the 50 states to the Union. These designs were part of the broader effort to commemorate the diverse culture, history, and symbolism that make up the United States. The year 2005 saw the release of 5 new designs, each one dedicated to a different state. These designs featured iconic state symbols, landscapes, and historical references. For example, the dime released for California depicted a miner's pick and shovel, referencing the state's gold rush era. Other states featured imagery related to their famous landmarks, industries, or cultural contributions. These special designs generated excitement among collectors, many of whom had already been participating in the State Quarters program, which had begun in 1999 and involved the release of unique designs for each state's quarter. However, the introduction of these new dime designs added a fresh layer of interest to the hobby. The 2005 dimes were only minted in limited numbers, making them even more intriguing to coin collectors looking for rarities. As with any coin, the minting process is a crucial factor in its eventual rarity and value. Coins are struck using large machines that press the design onto blank discs of metal. The U.S. Mint, which has been producing coins for the country since its founding in 1792, uses intricate processes to ensure that each coin is made to exact specifications. The production of a coin is closely monitored, and only a set number are produced for circulation. When coins are made in limited quantities, they can sometimes become highly sought after by collectors, especially if they possess unique qualities or errors. The 2005 dimes were struck in the U.S. Mint's facilities, with the coins intended to be circulated among the public. However, not all of these dimes would end up in the hands of everyday Americans. Over time, as collectors sought out specific years, designs, and mint marks, many of these 2005 dimes became part of private collections or were stored away in safekeeping. The rarity of these coins has only increased as time has passed, especially when certain variations are discovered. One key factor that has contributed to the 2005 dime's appeal among collectors is its relatively low mintage. While millions of dimes are produced each year, the special series that included state-specific designs were made in smaller quantities, which meant they weren't as widely available to the public. Additionally, the minting of coins often includes a variety of errors, from slight misprints to significant design flaws, and these errors can create highly valuable versions of the coin. Coins that feature minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center prints, or even die cracks, often become highly prized by collectors, and the 2005 dimes are no exception. While most of the dimes minted that year are still in circulation or have been kept in relatively good condition, a few rare and exceptional examples have been carefully preserved, enhancing their appeal and value. The value of a coin like the 2005 dime is determined by a variety of factors, including its rarity, condition, and demand among collectors. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition often fetch higher prices than those that have been heavily worn or damaged. Additionally, the presence of any minting errors can significantly increase the value of a coin, sometimes by orders of magnitude. The market for rare coins fluctuates over time, with certain coins rising in value as they become scarcer and more coveted. So, what is the value of the 2005 USA 1 dime today? As of now, certain 2005 dimes are worth a staggering $88,000. Yes, you read that correctly. A coin worth just 10 cents when it was originally minted has appreciated to a value that far exceeds its initial face value. This might seem unbelievable, but it's a testament to the intricate world of coin collecting, where rare and unique examples of even the most common coins can be worth extraordinary sums. This high value is due to several factors: the limited mintage, the state-specific designs, and perhaps most importantly, the discovery of a few rare errors that have been preserved in perfect condition. Coins that feature errors, such as double-struck designs or misaligned features, are often considered treasure by collectors, and one of these special dimes can be sold for tens of thousands of dollars. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare, high-value 2005 dimes? It all comes down to examining the condition of the coin and looking for any unusual features. If you happen to have a 2005 dime in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. If the coin shows no signs of wear and has been carefully preserved, it could be a potential treasure. Additionally, if you spot any minting errors or irregularities, it may be time to have the coin appraised by a professional numismatist. For those interested in diving deeper into the world of coin collecting, the 2005 USA 1 dime serves as a perfect introduction to the fascinating intersection of history, art, and value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to explore the hobby, the 2005 dime offers a unique glimpse into how even the smallest and most common coins can hold enormous value when they possess something special. The story of the 2005 USA 1 dime is a reminder that in the world of numismatics, there's often much more to a coin than meets the eye. What may seem like a simple dime can carry with it a rich history, intricate design, and a value that continues to grow with time. For collectors, it's a thrilling reminder that the pursuit of rare and valuable coins can lead to unexpected treasures. In the end, this dime, once a symbol of daily transactions, is now a symbol of the enduring appeal of rare coins, and its journey from circulation to coveted collector's item is a testament to the enduring allure of American numismatic history. So, the next time you find yourself with a handful of dimes, take a moment to appreciate the history and value they might hold. You never know what hidden gems might be right in front of you.